My name's Roger Davis. I am an energy professional. I've been working in the industry for 36 years now. I went to Cambridge. I went to Emmanuel College, Cambridge, studied natural sciences, and I've had a very interesting, very varied career, which I'm sure you're going to talk to me about.
Yes. And why did you decide to go to Cambridge?
I really like the natural sciences course.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Cambridge has got a great
Mm-hmm.
academic reputation, and it was seen as the pinnacle for people who are looking at going into sciences.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the flexibility. I like the idea of being able to go into different areas of natural science, of the science area,
Mm-hmm.
to explore what might interest me.
And what are some of your favorite memories from being a student there?
College life was great.
Mm-hmm.
The gardens, the facilities, I enjoyed the tutorials very
Mm-hmm.
much. One or two really great lecturers I had. Dr. Johnson in organic chemistry, Simon Conway Morris in geology. I had some really great tutors, people like Barry Rickards. Those individuals, and also I think the atmosphere was what really appealed to me.
Yeah. And did you always know that you want to go into energy industry?
I didn't even apply into the energy industry. So, being a chemist, I spent a year before going to university doing pharmaceutical research assistant, and I felt like that was the direction I wanted to go, but I didn't want to be in a lab. So I applied for business-facing roles in chemical industries, and I then got offered a role in oil and gas exploration. So I didn't actually expect it, but I was very taken by the idea of it, and 36 years later, here I am.
Yeah. And how would you say your MBA at Warwick helped you in your career?
I did the MBA, distance learning was the term. Back in the 90s, you actually got a big box of books for your year and lots of files and folders. Obviously, it's all done online now. And I really enjoyed that because it was intellectually stimulating, but then I could go into the office literally the next day and apply what I was learning. So it was the connection, and it was the breadth. I mean, talking about organisational behaviour. As a fairly pure scientist, I hadn't done a huge amount of statistics, so that was a really good top up for my statistics. And it was also a very good cadre of people I enjoyed working with, even though we didn't see each other very often face to face.
Yeah. And you work all over the world, from Angola and Azerbaijan to Jordan in the UK. And what was it like to adapt into different cultures? And what challenges did you face?
It's one of my favourite things about the industry. I've really enjoyed working overseas, and I'd like to think when I was working overseas I wasn't the typical expat. I tried to learn a bit of the language, fit in a little bit with the local culture. I know people have done it better than I have, but I tried to do some of that, and it's something I would never want to give up on. I think it was a hugely interesting and developing part of my career.
And if you had to summarize key milestones in your career, what would it be?
I think the easiest way to summarize it is I think I've kept learning, and I think I've kept getting better throughout my career, and I would say that right to this day, reaching the end of this phase of my career. I've become better, I think, at reading the room, at dealing with people. I'd like to think that my judgment has continued to improve. I've managed to keep up to date with the technical areas in my discipline. So rather than saying milestones, I'd like to think it was more of a sort of a gradual learning curve, which I have managed to stay on.
Yeah, interesting. And what is your current role and responsibilities, and how does your typical day looks like now?
So I'm commercial director for EnQuest in the North Sea. So that it's always hard to explain what commercial means. It's about managing sort of the micro businesses within the oil industry. So each field has got a joint venture. It's got other companies that you've got to interact with. You've got to deal with the regulator. You've got to support negotiations, justify economics of decisions. So all of those aspects get pulled together. It's really a very good integrating role. There are other integrating roles across the industry, but this is one of them. And so a typical day, there's dealing with emails, there's partner meetings where you're dealing with companies or with the regulator. There is internal reviews, and then just actually sitting down, doing work, trying to structure decisions, sometimes doing analysis. All of those get mixed in. So a day full of variety.
Interesting, thank you. And looking back at your time at BP, what are some lessons or principles that stuck with you from such a long and diverse experience there?
The great thing about BP is it isn't a job, it's a series of jobs. Such a large organisation, I think this is the case for a lot of large organisations. So I think 4 years was probably the longest I ever did in a particular, 4 to 5 years in a particular role in my time at BP. So instead of 27 years at BP, it was 7 or 8 different jobs. And I think that was one of the great beauties of it. And lots of variety, as I think you're probably going to explore.
And for students interested in the commercial side of energy or infrastructure projects, what skills should they start developing now?
You need to be analytical. So I think I've seen a lot of people struggle in the industry who have not got a feel for the numbers. And I don't necessarily mean advanced mathematics. Hopefully you understand what I mean by a feel for the numbers. Clearly communication, interpersonal skills. We work in an organisation. Organisational dynamics are a huge thing. So if you can communicate well out of the box, so to speak, that gives you a huge leg up when it comes to a career.
And how do you see the future of the North Sea evolving, and what opportunities are there any opportunities for future graduates in the sector?
Absolutely, because every day is a school day. You learn things. So even if you are in an industry that is declining, which it is in the North Sea for oil and gas, you're learning skills, whether it be the analytical skills, interpersonal skills. I'll talk maybe a little bit more about the project management skills. Everything's a project, everything needs managed, coordinating, etc. All of those are applicable, either outside the UK or in other sectors, whether it be the energy industry or the wider industry.
And what would you say was the proudest moment in your career?
Gosh, that's interesting. I think in the North Sea, it's probably a major project sanction, where you've got a very complex set of oil fields, and you've got to get all the ownership together, you've got to do all the technical work, and then you've got to take that through to the point where the government consents for the development, and then actually something is physically built, and people work there for tens of years. I mean, that particular project I'm talking about came on in the 90s, it's still going strong, it'll probably be going strong well into 2030s, maybe 2040s, and so it's things like that, genuine wealth creation, job creation, that I find very inspiring.
There are a lot of students who are struggling with stress, whether due to academia or personal things. What's your advice how to deal with stress as a student?
It's a long time ago. It's an interesting question. I'm not sure I have a tip. I think one of the things I've noticed at work is that everyone has different ways of dealing with issues, whether it be the project management, the communication, just the way we deal with email. And so I think the one thing I have learned, which may be useful in for this question, is you need to work out what works for you. There isn't a single right answer, everyone's different. So find out what works for you and then work with that. You read a book or you read an article or you watch a podcast which says you need to do this, that, the other to manage stress. That might not work for you.
And are there any books or podcasts you would recommend for students? It might be something career or maybe non-career related.
I'm a big fan of Dieter Helm, who's a professor at Oxford, should I say that? And he is very thoughtful about the future of the energy industry. He's very green, but actually a different shade of green than most politicians, and I think that's important. He has a podcast, he appears on other podcasts, he appeared on Leading, for example, which is a Rest is Politics podcast, and I think he has powerful things to say on lots of areas. I quite enjoy the Disorder podcast, because it talks about geopolitics in a very challenging way. Oil industry's got a lot of geopolitics in. Books, a lot of books about the energy industry. I mean, I think the classic, and it's quite a few years old now, but Daniel Yergin's The Prize is a history of the oil industry. And if you read Daniel Yergin, you'd find that everything that's ever happened in the last 2 centuries has been because of oil. He may be taking slightly extreme view, but it's an interesting perspective to read. So that's something I definitely recommend. Probably available quite cheaply secondhand.
Thank you very much. And would you say networking is important in your career or your industry?
Working in a large organisation like BP, networking wasn't such a huge thing, because you had structures, you had processes, you had mentors and mentees, you had programs that you were on. When you're working for smaller organisations, as the industry has fragmented, it's become a much bigger deal. So yeah, it is important. I think we've all of us who have been around in the industry a long time have seen people who are 100% network and 0% doing the job. You have to have the right balance.
And what would be your advice for students how to utilize networking to benefit themselves?
It comes back to the last question, I think. It's about getting the right balance. I mean, coming across well, getting to know the key people, so they know the name to the face. They might have an idea or a special project or an opportunity, and they can think, hang on a sec, I'll pick up the phone or I'll message this person. It's incredibly powerful. It's probably more powerful than it should be, but that's human nature. I don't think we should push back too hard against that. But you have to deliver.
And the last question is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Be a bit more self-confident, I think. I've grown in confidence over the years. I feel more comfortable, whether you're doing interviews or doing presentations or challenging issues. And I still think I could probably got room to develop in that area and room to improve in that area, and I hopefully will. But 30 plus years ago, I had less confidence.